Okay, so I'm going to share some information with everybody again. I'm attempting it for the 6th time because every time that I upload this, it's flagged and tagged and removed for harassment and bullying. And I'm sharing some information that anybody can submit a FOIA request to gain this information under the Freedom of Information Act. This is the Spokane County Sheriff Field Case Report, case number 2020101-48073, Reporting District SC07. It was from the report. It was reported on 11/6/2020 from the quote accident unquote that I was in on 11/6/2020, the accident that killed me. I was a DOA with no heart rate. The medics had to defibrillate my heart 5 times and incubate me on scene. I was in a coma 2.5 weeks and in the hospital over 2 months. So let's continue on this report. You're going to see the driver's name right here. The other driver in the quote accident unquote. You see the address is 11815 North Wilson Street in Meade, Washington, right? And that information is my information. Then you'll see right here that the responding officer was officer badge number 592166, submitted on 11/6/2020. And then you'll see that it was reviewed by this officer on 11/7/2020. And so page 1 gives you the address for the other driver, correct? Now page 2, right here, they have the same report. As you can see, everything matches. It's all the same. Right here, they're showing that the license plate number is BNA 6362 for the license plate number. And again, it was the same reporting officer right there on 11/6/2020. So now we're going to cut back a few pages here because this is 23 pages long. It is pretty long. We're going to cut back to the State of Washington Police Traffic Collision Report, report number EA 79132, case number 201048073. So again, that case number matches this case number. So if you want to submit a FOIA request for this, you can, most certainly. You will see right here that the last name and the first name of the other driver matches perfectly as it should on page 1 of the Spokane County Field Case Report. Right here, 11815 North, but the address 11815 North Wilson Street is different than the address on the State of Washington Police Traffic Collision Report. On this report, the address is 3724 East Center Road, right? And the license plate number on the Police Traffic Collision Report is ACE 7275. But again, if we look back on the Spokane County Sheriff Field Case Report, the license plate number is BNA 6362. And it was the reporting officer 592166. And on the police traffic collision reports, the officer's name is the same, and the badge number 592166. All of that seems to match up perfectly. What doesn't match is the address and license plate for the quote other driver unquote. So now, if we go back a few pages, oh, and on page 2, by the way, of the police traffic collision report, page 2. There's a statement. It says, there's a statement here. I certify and declare under penalty of perjury and of the laws of the state of Washington that the following is true and correct. And it's signed by the same officer here on 11/7/22 or 11/7/2020 at 5:30 a.m. So there's and badge number 592166. So the name and the badge number matches, and that's the same. Just the address and the license plate don't match at all. So now, if we come back here to the infraction served to the other driver and the quote accident unquote, you will see that the name and everything matches correctly on the field case report and in the hold on a second. And then in this document, the name matches the same as well. Lori Jeffrey. Everything matches correctly, right? But if we back to the infraction here, we're going to see that the name, the name matches. We're going to see that the license plate number is ACE 7275. You see that? But on the field case report on page 2 here, the license plate number is BNA 6362 on the field Spokane County Sheriff field case report. So you see? And we have Sheriff Deputy badge number 592166 11/6/2020. That deputy signed it. And then on the infraction on page 2, they certified under penalty of perjury that everything is true and correct. Same deputy, 592166. There's his name right there. And now, if we go to the next page, which is the affidavit for notice of infraction, this is the information that is served to the courts based off of the information of on the infractions that served to the driver, so that they're charged accordingly through the courts. They're saying the license plate number for the driver was identified as Jeffrey W. Laurie. They're saying the license plate number is BNA 6362 on the affidavit for notice of infraction, right? But remember, on the actual infraction, the license plate number is ACE 7275. You see what's going on here? And now going back to the infraction again, or the affidavit for notice of infraction, they're saying the license plate number is BNA 6362. And now if we go to the second page of the affidavit for notice of infraction, he's certified under penalty of perjury under the laws of the state of Washington that all the statements made herein are true and accurate, and that I am entering my authorized user ID and password to authenticate the Deputy M. Leigh'Ton, Spokane County, Washington. He's not officer anymore. He's now deputy. Date 11/7/2020. Okay. And that's just the copy of that. Now, I want to show you something else in here that it's right here on this page. Now, this is the 911 dispatch communication that occurred during my, quote, accident, unquote. I want you to take a look at this line right here on 11/6/2020, 174606. It says Gonna Crease Narrative. There's a number there. And there is a 911 dispatch code, CR187. So if you don't know, I know what 187 means. I mean, it's pretty obvious. I mean, if you don't know, go pull up the Senate bill, do a little soul searching, listen to a couple rap songs, whatever. You'll figure it out real quick. So wasn't hard for me to figure out why that dispatch code was used in my 911 dispatch communication, because I've done a little soul searching on top of the information I already knew, and I was able to connect those dots. But you can pull the Senate bill for that bill, the Senate Bill 187, and you will find out what it means. The universal code used for biomedics, police, a fire department, everything. It's a universal code used across the United States. It's even in rap songs. I mean, I believe there's even a song that's called 187, and maybe you should listen to it, and you'll be able to connect the dots there. So yeah, I just wanted to share this information again for the 6th time, as I said, because every time I've tried to share it, it's been taken down for harassment and bullying. Although, like I said, if you pull up that case number or submit a FOIA request, anybody can submit a FOIA request. It's the Freedom of Information Act. Anybody has access to these public records. They are public records. And I'm just sharing my own, that's my name right there. I'm just sharing my own police traffic collision report from the, quote, accident that I was in on 11/6/2020 that killed me. Because, yes, I did die. I was a DOA with no heart rate when the medics arrived. They had to defibrillate my heart 5 times and incubate me on scene. I was in a coma 2.5 weeks, in the hospital 2 months total. My sunshine, Lucky, he was my federally registered service animal. He is no longer with me. He passed away from the, quote, plancident, unquote, we were in, from his injuries. He wound up not being treated correctly, and he ended up with a slip disc that transitioned into IVDD. And so he died ultimately. And, you know, I don't really want to talk about much more of that because it gets me really upset. But because he was my everything, you know, where I went, he went, where I slept, he slept, what I ate, he showered with me daily because he was always on duty. You know, I have a disease called Chiari, which causes my legs to give out on me unexpectedly without any warning. And Lucky trained me on how he was going to give me warning before my legs gave out on me. And, you know, dogs know when, you know, federal service animals, they just know when humans have issues. And he trained me on how he was going to keep me in safety. And so he went everywhere with me. He was a federally registered service animal. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to post a link in the description as well as in the comments to other videos that I've uploaded. One is titled Micah Benjamin Leigh'Tons on the Micah, Washingtons in Washington. And there's a reason why I titled it that, because like I said let's going back here. What's the name of the officer? Mike Leigh'Ton, middle name Benjamin. So you can put everything together, you know, understand syntax, because syntax is facts. All right, I think I've shared enough so far. And if you would like a copy of this, let me know. I can send it to you electronically or USPS it to you directly. No problem. This field case report is 23 pages long, and you know, it goes a whole lot deeper. There's a whole lot of information that I haven't touched base on yet. But I will eventually, you know, and remember my name here, because you might just hear it here soon in the future, and you'll understand what it's tied to right here. So anyway, have a good day. Peace out.